Imagine looking at a system that is fundamentally cracking under the weight of its own design. A system where the workers are exhausted, the output is stagnating, and the real world demands for its product have completely shifted. I'm talking about our education system. Right now, schools across the country are terrified of artificial intelligence. They're blocking ChatGPT on school Wi Fi networks. They're running student essays through deeply flawed AI detectors. They're treating this massive technological paradigm shift like a digital cheating scandal instead of what it actually is: the greatest educational tool since the printing press. Today, we're going to look at the macro level reality of why AI does not just belong in schools, it's the only thing that can save them. We're going to break down the catastrophic teacher burnout crisis, the holy grail of individualized learning, and the brutal economic reality that is waiting for these kids when they graduate. By the end of this video, you will understand why keeping AI out of the classroom isn't protecting students, it's actively failing them. Let's start with the people on the front lines, the teachers. We have a massive systemic crisis in education retention, and the numbers are terrifying. According to a 2024 RAND Corporation survey, a staggering 60% of K 12 educators report being burned out. Gallup recently found that K 12 workers are the most burned out group of employees in the entire United States, significantly outpacing even healthcare workers and corporate executives. Why is this happening? It's not because they hate teaching. The modern educator is buried under an avalanche of administrative overhead. They're managing escalating student behaviors, navigating massive class sizes, and drowning in paperwork. On average, teachers are spending 10 hours a week of their own unpaid personal time on administrative tasks like grading, writing reports, data entry, and lesson planning. You cannot sustain a high performing system when the operators are routinely pushed to their breaking point just to keep the lights on. This is exactly where artificial intelligence changes the game. When the general public hears AI in schools, they immediately picture a dystopian classroom where a cold robot replaces a human teacher. This is completely backwards. With a single prompt, that teacher can generate 3 different versions of a lesson plan tailored to different reading levels in their classroom. They can automate the grading of formative assessments in seconds. They can instantly draft tailored emails to parents, create complex rubrics, and synthesize testing data to see exactly which students missed the core concept of yesterday's math lesson. We aren't talking about replacing the human element, we're talking about automating the administrative bloat so the human element can return. When you strip away the paperwork and the data processing, teachers can get back to what actually drives student success: building relationships, mentoring, and facilitating complex critical thinking in the room. AI is the only scalable solution we have right now to immediately reduce the crushing workload that is driving our absolute best educators out of the profession. Now, let's look at the students and the way they actually learn. In 1984, an educational psychologist named Benjamin Bloom published a landmark study. He discovered what is now famously known in academic circles as the 2 Sigma problem. Bloom found that students who received one-on-one mastery tutoring performed 2 standard deviations better than students in a traditional classroom setting. To put that mathematical concept into perspective, an average student sitting right in the middle of the pack at the 50th percentile who receives one-on-one tutoring will suddenly jump to the 98th percentile. It's the holy grail of education. If you give a kid dedicated, individualized instruction that adapts to their specific pace, their unique interests, and their learning style, they will achieve mastery almost every single time. But Bloom called it a problem for a reason. It's economically impossible to scale. You can't hire a dedicated world-class human tutor for every single one of the 50 million public school students in the United States. So, for the last 40 years, we've had to settle for a factory model of education. We put 30 kids in a room, we teach to the middle of the bell curve, and we hope for the best. Fast learners get bored and disengage, and the slow learners get left behind and give up. Enter artificial intelligence. For the first time in human history, we have the technological infrastructure to solve Bloom's 2 sigma problem. Large language models have given us the ability to put an infinitely patient, highly adaptable, world-class tutor in the pocket of every single student. Systems like Khan Academy's Khanmigo are already proving this out. If a student is struggling with a quadratic equation, the AI does not just give them the answer, it acts using the Socratic method. It asks probing questions, it identifies the specific gap in their foundational knowledge. Maybe they forget how to factor negative numbers 3 weeks ago, and it pivots the lesson immediately to address that specific gap. Think about the compounding returns of that kind of personalized intervention. A student doesn't have to raise their hand and feel embarrassed in front of their peers. They can ask the AI to explain a complex physics concept using an analogy about their favorite video game or sports team. The AI doesn't get tired, it doesn't get frustrated, it scales infinitely at zero marginal cost. We're on the verge of democratizing elite level tutoring for every demographic, regardless of their zip code or tax bracket. Banning this technology in schools because we're afraid of kids using it to cheat on an essay is completely missing the forest for the trees. We're ignoring a systemic cure because we're worried about a localized system. Finally, we have to talk about the macro economy because ultimately, the education system is supposed to prepare students for the real world. And the real world is currently undergoing the most aggressive technological transformation since the Industrial Revolution. According to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, AI roles are projected to expand by over 30% in the next decade. But it's not just about becoming an AI engineer or machine learning specialist. AI is rapidly becoming the baseline infrastructure of the modern knowledge economy. Every industry, marketing, finance, logistics, healthcare, is integrating these models into their daily workflows to build automated value chains. When we ban AI in schools, we're committing educational malpractice. We're forcing students to compete in a 21st century economy using 20th century skills. The modern business value chain no longer rewards rote memorization or the ability to synthesize basic information because an AI agent can do that in 3 seconds for fractions of a penny. What the economy rewards right now, and what it will pay a premium for in the future, is orchestration, critical evaluation, and complex problem solving. Students need to learn how to communicate with these systems. They need to understand the limitations, the hallucinations, and the biases of language models. They need to know how to take an AI-generated output, fact-check it against real data, edit it, and elevate it into a polished final product. If we do not teach these skills in a controlled educational environment, we're going to create a massive digital divide. The kids who have access to AI at home and learn how to leverage it to automate their workflows will become 10 times more productive than their peers. The kids who are restricted from using it will enter the workforce fundamentally handicapped. We need to stop asking, how do we prevent kids from using AI to write their essays, and start asking, how do we change the essay so that it requires the student to use AI as a collaborator? We need to shift the assessment from the final product to the process of creation. In the real world, nobody cares if you use a calculator to do the math, as long as the bridge doesn't collapse. In the future economy, nobody is going to care if you use an AI agent to write the code, pull the SQL data, or draft the brief, as long as you have the expertise to orchestrate the process and verify that it works perfectly. The arrival of artificial intelligence is not a threat to education. It's a mirror reflecting exactly what is broken about our current system. We have burned out teachers drowning in admin. We have a generalized curriculum that leaves millions of kids behind. And we have an assessment model that is entirely disconnected from the modern economic reality. AI offers us a way out. It's a tool that can automate the administrative burden, giving teachers their time and their sanity back. It is a tool that can provide individualized Socratic tutoring to every student, solving a 40-year-old pedagogical bottleneck. And it is the fundamental skill required to survive and thrive in the future workforce. We cannot afford to be afraid of it. We have to embrace it, adapt our systems, and teach the next generation how to master it. Because the future doesn't care if we are ready or not, it is already here. What are your thoughts on this? Are you worried about the implications of AI in the classroom, or are you excited about the potential to finally fix our education system? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear your perspective. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.